is we?
We at SEMA.
Nice. So, yeah. Big old convention center. Taking a look around. Yeah, bro, box builds. I don't know how much we're gonna be able to record in there, but we'll get pictures for you guys.
Yeah, we've already seen Adam, LZ, Chelsea Denofa, Magnus Walker was just out here. Saw a bunch of other YouTubers.
Yeah.
As a big YouTube guy, I see all of them here.
So we just spent the last 3 days in SEMA. It's Saturday after SEMA. We went Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Decided to leave early because it was a little bit too much. We saw just about everything we wanted to see, did about almost everything we wanted to do. So overall, good experience.
Yeah. First day we get there, we start outside. Kind of there's trucks in front of the West Hall, so we started there. Kind of saw some Baja trucks, some big lifted trucks. You know what we're into, big lifted trucks. And then we went in, I think it was wrapping and like coatings. That was like kind of the first area. We saw some pretty cool cars being wrapped. And then we made our way to the central hall, which is like the main hall. And that's where pretty much all the big builds were. I think front and center was TJ Hunt's Veilside RX-7, so that was pretty cool.
The only other NA Miata I saw was in that West Hall, and that one they had built the week prior. Rob Dom's 4-rotor RX-7, that was pretty cool. That was at the Valvoline booth.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And, we saw everyone from, the smallest TikTok influencers to the largest automotive YouTubers, And also on the first day we went and saw Chris Fix do, it was a ceramic wax, ceramic coating sort of workshop. So he was like basically doing one of his videos live, which was really cool. And then he did a, meet and greet afterwards, and we won one of these a while back, and we got him to sign it, and he was super excited about it, so that was super cool. Seems like a very, very genuine human being. He was telling me how excited he was that I brought it and that it made his day, so that was awesome.
Like everywhere you go, you see, oh, there's a famous person, oh, there's a sick build, oh, there's, free swag. It's like just everywhere all at once. And
I mean, we walked 9.5 miles just in that first day.
Yeah.
Saw, who was it, Demi Bagby the first day as well.
Yeah, and then like all the Hoonigans. I believe we saw TJ Hunt just kind of pass by. I was like, oh, there he goes. I saw like Chris Forsberg, a bunch of FD drivers, as we said, but yeah, it's just overwhelming. You could probably just sit in one area and stare and see, 5 famous people go by.
One of the reoccurring themes at all these booths, especially the bigger booths, eBay Motors, Pennzoil, etc., were they're racing sims. And so they'd have things as far as like old classic NASCAR racing to, Formula One sims. So those were a lot of fun. If you play, you got the free swag. So the eBay Motors booth, they gave t-shirts at the end of each of the races. But that one was fun because it was like old, like...
It was like a 90s arcade.
Yeah.
It moved, but it was just like, if you moved, it would like throw you. So it was kind of fun. And they had a Tesla loop. So from in between, I think 3 of the halls, we were like, we're taking that. So that was pretty cool.
It was weird. It was like completely bored out.
There's a tunnel, a big white tunnel, and you just drive through. There's some lights and stuff. And
yeah, but it was wild because it was like not much bigger than the Teslas themselves.
Yeah, there's probably like half a foot or a foot on each side, and then the wall.
And then we checked out the more of the center hall. We did the south hall, which was split into upper and lower, and then in between the center and the south hall was the Toyo tires.
Oh
And that had a lot of the coolest builds in it. So, but I mean, there was so many cool builds, and it was hard to really keep track of. But one of my favorites too is this Honda K-swapped Ferrari. That was super cool to see. Apparently it just makes massive power too, so it was a lot of good stuff. The South Hall was a lot of like specialty tools and things like that on the upper floors. It was funny who decides to show up and who doesn't. Like Snap-on had a booth but didn't really have a booth. They didn't have any hand tools for you to play with because they were like we're past that. We've already made our name. We don't need to be showing this kind of stuff. They didn't have any swag, and they like scoffed at us when we asked if they had anything. They were just like, no. So it was funny, the difference in between brands as far as like who shows up and what they show up with. Went to the Harbor Freight booth, obviously. I had to see what products are coming into my store and that kind of stuff, so that was cool. And then one of the cool freebies was the red cap.
Yeah, red cap.
Red cap. They were printing work shirts. They had 4 designs you could choose from, and they printed them. And we went to go check out their booth later and talked with one of the gals working the booth, and she was talking to us about the differences between their materials and other folks' materials. And we ended up ordering some coveralls from them, so there should be coming up soon.
Custom coveralls.
Yeah, they got our logo and such. Yeah. So you might see those in a few upcoming videos if we decide to get a little dirty. So we can kind of give a update on those and like whether or not we like them at that point in time. And then one of the other things that we did was at the eBay Motors booth. It was simulated drag racing.
Yeah. So it was us paired together. It's basically a trans brake, and then you, I guess, bump in. It's for like turbo cars. They said, we don't know, we're not drag racers. So they're like, oh yeah, hold the trans brake and bump in 3 times, and then it was like a pro tree, so 3 yellow lights and then green. So we let off the trans brake, and basically when it turned green, I smoked them every time.
Every single time. It was not even close. Like
so, drag racing build coming up next.
I guess so. Yeah. We went and waited in line to see Larry Chen and get his autograph and some of his little Peking stickers. So those were these guys here. They were pretty cute. Brian's already got his up on his car. I'm waiting till my build's a little more finished to put that one on there. It's not worth Larry photographing it just yet. Yeah. Hopefully, if we go back for a reason. I would love to have a build that's unique enough to get into the show or featured in the show.
Yeah, but we're invited. Somehow.
Well, and the funny thing too is one of the things that we did was was ride with us. It was this like motorcycle refresher course, and so they either like taught you to ride, or like if you've ridden before, they kind of allowed you to hop on and just kind of have a refresher. I mean, we never shifted out of first gear, but it was still, it was fun. It was like 20 minutes.
Yeah, they were like, oh, after I rode, or before, I was like, yeah, I've ridden a dirt bike. I've ridden a dirt bike like twice, and these were like brand new bikes, so the clutch, you just let it out and it just took off, and I was like, oh, this is easy. And afterwards I was ripping around, and he was like, oh, you're an expert. I'm like, yeah, not really, but
that was some of the cool stuff that was there, because that was all free.
Yeah.
We didn't have to pay for that. We just had to put our name on a waiting list. Some of that stuff, it was like there for whoever wanted it, and that was super cool.
Yeah, they had a lot of like hands-on stuff. eBay Motors had, I think, you could do like change a wheel, like a pit stop challenge. I think Gear Wrench had one. There's some other like challenges. Pennzoil, you actually had to like fill out a card and go around their booth, learn about all their oils and stuff to get some swag.
Yeah, what is it? Garrett turbos, or I guess they're known for the turbos. They may do other things, but they had a similar thing where they had QR codes on a couple of the builds around the central hall. So we went around and got codes off of those, and we were told it was going to be a free t-shirt, but they're like, oh no, you're entered to win a free t-shirt. The only other thing that we really didn't get to do was like a drift ride along.
Yeah.
They had a couple like Supras that would take just regular folks along and drift them. It was not very like, they didn't swing it heavy or hard at all.
Yeah, it was kind of like a large figure 8.
Yeah.
And that was also part of the eBay Motors booth. eBay Motors and the Hoonigans kind of had the entire outside of the central hall. So the Hoonigans would do their Burnyard Bash, and all the outside area was free to the public. So I think that's why they did it. So anyone could have done that.
But then a lot of the more professional, Formula D drivers, you had to have media passes to even get a ride along with them. Yeah. So unfortunately, we didn't get to do that. Yeah. Maybe in the future.
Maybe one day.
Just happy to have the
to
opportunity.
Be there. Yeah, exactly.
It was a good time, and I definitely, given the opportunity, I would go back. I would change a few things. I did enjoy actually going on the first day, because I think there was a lot fewer people.
Yeah, first day was the best. It was, yeah, everything was fresh, a lot less people, a lot more swag. It seemed a lot more chill the first day.
A lot of people showed up later in the week, and I mean, I think they estimated something like 125,000 people, but even that seems low.
Yeah, it felt like it could be 1 million. Who knows?
It was so many people.
Yeah, towards the end, like we were just like shoulder to shoulder, like get out of my way, you know. Like people would just stand in the middle. We're like, you know. And the facilities were nice. Like everything was clean. I didn't see any puke puddles or anything, but there shouldn't be. It's a trade show, you know. But it's Vegas.
That's true.
Yeah, bathrooms were nice. They had food pretty much everywhere. It was not cheap, but you know, it's Vegas.
Overall, it was a good experience. I definitely would go again. I enjoyed it. So hopefully, you know, we get invited in the future. But until then, we'll be doing stuff like this. So we appreciate you guys watching as always. Bye-bye.